Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Lynn and I'm Pretty Papercrafts 67. And today is Design Team Project Day for WhichCraftDoYouDo. And I'm going to make some little junk journal charms or dangles, whatever you want to call them. I've made one using the Gentleman Tailor collection, and I made one using the July freebie, which is available over at the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. Yeah, they're just really sweet. I've made them double-sided. Each element is double-sided, and they're just a nice little idea to add to your junk journals. You can dangle them from the spines, or you can add them to journal cards, or they're just pretty as they are tucked inside of pockets and things like that. So I thought we might make another one today using the Gentleman Tailor collection. And yeah, we will get on and get started. So I have pulled a lot of the element pages from this kit today, the Gentleman Tailor. You do get a massive variety in this kit. I love it and I use it all the time. And I know I have to go ahead and try and make a project with something else, but I just keep coming back to this kit because it just is wonderful for my aesthetic. So what I want to do, first of all, I just want to pick some elements that I want to create charms with. I'll put that to the side. And I'm going to, first of all, take all of these elements and I'm going to stick them down onto some cardstock. Or in my case, I'm going to be using just some manila folder offcut. So I will grab that out. And just with glue stick, I'm just going to stick some of these elements down onto this piece of cardstock. I also want to cut, I love this page, it's like cotton spools, labels for cotton spools. So I'm just going to punch out. I've got a 1.5 inch punch and it works perfectly on these. So I'm just going to punch out a couple of these, and all of these I'm going to make double-sided. So I want 2 of everything. All right, so I'm just going to grab a glue book and I'm just going to start to stick these elements down onto this piece of manila cardstock. And the reasoning behind that is I want them to be thick. I want them to feel heavy weighted because then they sit better on your project, but also it just has that sort of feeling, that nice sturdy feel about them. I'm going to cut two of these like that, and I'm just going to stick those down. And these are great projects too to have on hand. I've got a little bowl behind me that I keep a lot of little charms and things in, so that when I'm making something or finalising up a junk journal or what have you, I've got them all ready to go. So you could cut every element out of this kit and just create all these little dangles if you wanted, and then you've got them ready to go. I've got some big clock faces. I'm going to make one big one for clocks. So, and I'm doing this now just to give these an opportunity to really dry off. And then I want to pick 2 of these numbers. And then I'll pop those down as well. All right, so that is our first step done. And we'll just wait for those to dry off while we do the little double-sided card, or whatever you want to call it. This little thing here. This little, I call it a card. All right, so there is one more dangle I want to do. So I love the tape measures. You get a page of tape measures in this kit, and I was watching the lovely Donna at Junk Journal Ideas, and she was making charms with tape measures, and I really liked that idea. So I just don't know if I want to go for the light or a darker. I've used a darker one in that one, so we'll go for the lighter one. And I've got a strip of book board for this one, just the backing of an old foolscap page or a watercolor book. I can't remember which one it came from, but it's just a little thicker. It's a nice sturdy piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly cut this tape measure out. And I'm just going to cut, because I want it double-sided, I'm going to cut at the 4-inch and the 8-inch mark on the tape measure. 4 inches and 8-inch mark, thereabouts. And then I'm going to stick one side of it on this side and then flip it and stick the other. So I'm going to use a bit of a stronger glue for that. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And I'm just sticking those down. So I'll put that one on that side of my book board, like that. And I always have a habit of putting one way and one the other. So I want that to be like that. And I'll put it there like that. And that's a little higher than my book board, so I'll just have to trim that down a bit. So for that, I'll grab my knife and ruler. I'm just going to cut it at the end, at the edge. So maybe that will be okay. So that's our little ruler done. Put those to the side. All right, so we'll just let those dry off and then we'll go in and start doing the little card. So you get a page of playing cards, large playing cards. I think you get a couple of pages, and then you also get the backings for the playing cards. So on this one, I used the backing, but on this one, I'm going to use one of these. So I've just cut out the two, and I'm just going to kind of fold that in half, as close to half as I can. You can always trim up. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a burnish, like so. So that's that. And then I'm just going to take my punch. Where did I put it? My punch. And I'm going to just punch out as close to that middle as I think is right. Kind of, sort of, about like that. And I'm just going to punch that out. And there, in turn, you have another 2 dangles that you could create if you wanted to. All right, so this is what we've got. Now, because I want the sewing element on it, I've just taken a second one and I have just exactly the same thing, cut it, I've punched my hole, but I've just sewn around the circle and around the edges. So I'll put that one away for now. That'll give me something to work towards for another one. And then in the kit you also get a series of these black and white photographs, and the ladies have kind of mirror imaged them, which is a really wonderful idea for this project. Because I want it to be double-sided, I am simply going to fold that in half. I will probably have to cut it down, and then that way you will have the image on the front and the image on the back, and once that's cut to size, that'll fit really nicely. So I think I will cut about 1/4 of an inch off that edge, just eyeballing, and try that again. And he is a little bit big for the circle, but it will still work. So if I've just got to find the spot. Yeah, that's cool. But before I put him in place, well, I might just glue him down together to make him nice and sturdy as one piece. Just like that. And then I can cut a little bit more from this side maybe as well. And then that might fit even better. So that's your one side and that will be the other side. That's great. I love it. And I think I'm just going, where that was sitting, I'm just going to make a pencil mark so that when I come back to put him in place, I know where I'm going. But before I put him in place, I want to put some acetate windows. So I've just got some little offcut scraps here of acetate. And if you didn't have acetate, you could use some cellophane packaging. You could take a laminating sheet, run it through your laminator, and then you would have something nice and sturdy like acetate. But I'm just going to use those two pieces, and I'm just simply going to stick them down on my window. Now I don't want to get acetate on, I don't want to get glue on the acetate, but I do want to kind of bring that glue up as close to the window as I can. So we'll just hold our breath and see what we come up with. So I'm just going to pop that one there, like that. And then I'm going to do the same. No, that wasn't it. There it is. And I'm going to do the same with this one here. And we'll put that piece of acetate just straight down over the top of that window. And we'll give that a little second to dry. All right, so you've got your two little windows, and then we'll bring our gentleman back in, and I will stick him in around about there, like that. All right, so we will, how do I want to do this? I've got my marking, so I'm just going to go around here because it's going to be a double-sided image. I don't want to get glue on the other side of the image either. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will work. So we're just going to hold that there, pop that over, and I'll just check the back. Yep, that is great. All right. Let's give that a minute for it to set. Wipe any excess glue, and then I'm just going to close the whole lot up. So again, I'm just going to put glue around my edges. Like that. And close that up. Now that is a bit thick, but it does still, it will stick together, glue together, and then it's nice and snug inside there. So that is our little double facing card. And then I'll just give that some ink to grunge it up a bit. It will take a few minutes for that to really seal well. A bit more ink. All right, so that's our first element done and dusted. Now I will come back and do some decorating on that soon, but I'm just going to leave that there, and I might actually even just put it under a paperweight for a minute just so it sticks. All right, so we've got our little ruler, and now I'm going to cut out these elements here, and these are going to be our dangles or charms. So Please excuse me if I go quiet. I tend to go quiet when I'm fussy cutting. So we've got 1 and we've got 2. And as I go, I'm going to stick them onto each other. Because again, I want the charms to be double facing. Now, if you wanted to, you could sew around your charms. I'm not going to, and so therefore I want the glue to be pretty right up to the edges. But you can always come along and re-glue if they're lifting a bit. All right, so that's number 1. These ones here I want for a different purpose, so I'll cut these out first. And I want these as like a little tab on my card. So that's 1 and 2. Oops. And I'm going to ink these up. And then on this here, I'm just going to pop them either side just to make a little tab section, like this little section here on that one. So I'll put that one there, around about, and then we'll flip it over and we'll put the other one in behind it like that. And again, that's quite thick, but I just like the sturdiness of it. And I think that one will go like that, and just level it up together kind of thing. And then you can always come in and just sew along that again, just to secure it to the card if you wanted to. So that's just our little tab. So again, I'm just going to pop that back under there. All right, so what next have we got? We've got these ones here, which I'm going to be lazy, and I'm just going to punch those out because that saves me some time. So that's 1. And number 2. And again, I'm going to stick these 2 together. Making sure I've got them up the right way. Put those there, and then what else have we got? We've got our little playing cards. And we'll stick those 2 together. That and that. Put them to dry, and then we've just got our bigger clock faces. So these are just going to take me a minute to cut. Number 1. And number 2. Just like that, and I'm going to stick those 2 together. making sure that they're up the right way. I tend to do that. I tend to not think about that. All right, so we'll put those two together, and then they're all double-sided, so it doesn't matter which way you thread them. They're all, that one's a little bit off, but I'm not gonna get hung up on that. All right, so that's that and that done. Put my lid back on. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to let those dry a minute. So I'm just going to bring my little card back in, and I'm just going to take a sentiment. I think I've got the sentiment page here somewhere. I've got some of those. This might be a better size. There is a sentiment page, but maybe I didn't grab it out of my folder. But that's all right. We will use, or there's even these numbers, or is that it there? No, there's even these numbers, which are cool too. But I think I might use High Class Tailoring. That looks quite nice. So I'm going to cut that out just for a little bit of decoration on the card. Just like so. Give that a bit of ink. And I'm going to kind of stick that just about there. Actually, I might trim that just a touch more. And I'm just going to pop that one just there. And put that one there, around about the middle, however it comes. All right, so that's that one. And then, again, I've bent my pin, so it's a bit difficult to get it in there all the way in. There we go. Okay, so now what I want to do, so that's our little card kind of done, the double-sided card. Now with these ones, what I want to do, when I was watching Donna, she sanded them, and it just gave it such a really nice sort of old look to the charm. So, and then that way, whatever I haven't actually married up, I can just sand it away and give it that really old look. So I'm just going to go around each one of these charms and just sand away, distress really, my edges on both sides. And it smooths it down, and it just makes it feel nice on the edges. So it's a little bit of a job. You want to give it a little bit of attention if you're going to do this. And with all those layers of cardstock, it really has become a really nice, sturdy feeling charm. All right, so there's our clock. Now I'm going to take our measuring tape, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to kind of roughly round the edges on these ones. And yeah, your table will get a bit messy, but that's okay. And you can just keep going until you're happy with your result. You don't have to distress it as much as I am. You don't have to do this step at all. They look just as nice, just as nice without that. But I just love the finished result. So there's our tape measure. Like I said, I just like to spend a little bit of time making sure my edges are all nice and smooth. We'll take our little playing card. Just that kind of thing. And then we've got our number. Like that. And then lastly, our cotton thread label. Cotton spool label. Just like that. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so I'll grab a cloth, get rid of all of these bits of paper. Microfiber cloths are so great for this. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm just going to ink up around these edges of the dangles to give them that even more old look. I'm going to do it front and back on each one. Around those edges. And we'll just do each element the same. Little cards. Clock face. And lastly, our numbers. All right, and then all I want to do now is I need an eyelet. And I'm going to use a black one if I can grab a black one. And I need, I bet you I don't have one here. I guess I do. I need a bulb pen. And I've got one here. So I want an eyelet and a bulb pen. And then in my card, I'm just going to set an eyelet in there. So I'll grab this thing, this crocodile I think it's called, and I'm going to just punch my hole kind of sort of center, and then I'm going to set my eyelet in there. Just like that. And then I've just got a bit of twine, thread, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to thread that through there and just make that my tie. I'm just going to double knot that like so, and then with a smaller hole, I'm just going to punch a hole in each of the charms. So in each one, here And lastly in this one. And then we're just going to thread them all up onto the bulb pin, wherever it went. There it is. So I'm going to go from smallest to largest. So I want my little playing cards first. Then we'll take a number. We'll take our cotton spool, our clock, and lastly our measuring tape. And then I'm just going to thread all of those onto that piece of twine. And there you have it, another little, junk journal, charm, dangle, whatever you want to call it. So you can keep these exactly as they are, or like I said, you can have them all waiting, ready to go to add to all your different projects. But yeah, and you can do this with anything. There are so many kits over at WhichCraftDoYouDo that have all these little element pieces in it. So don't forget also the discount code over at WhichCraftDoYouDo website. You get 25% off any digital purchase. I think that is also for the Etsy store. So I will leave that link below for you. Just go on over, apply it on at checkout, and you'll get your 25% discount. This printable is the July freebie. As I said, that's available over at the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. It may also be available at the WhichCraftDoYouDo online store. I'm not sure. I haven't checked this morning. And I'll link the Gentleman Tailor collection. So yeah, there you go, guys. Just a really fun little idea to make some charms for your junk journals. And as I said, you can just keep going and make a whole stash full of them, and then they're ready for all your next projects. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day. It's Monday today. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.